Higgins trophy up for grabs. We'll see you.
Please welcome out to table one, bidding for a maiden Northern Ireland Open title, it's the reigning world champion, the warrior Kyren Wilson. Up against the four-time Northern Ireland Open champion, please welcome the world number 1, the ace in the pack, Judd.
Kyren Wilson breaks off in frame 10. Judd Trump with a superbly crafted 64 for his second straight frame. 9 is the target for the title.
Well, the red crept up the table a little bit too far off the break-off shot. Judd can cut this in. Didn't get a good kiss, though. He'd probably be able to just snooker Kyren, but there's not a great deal else he can do with this. He's going to want every kiss, every nudge imaginable, I think, in the quest to draw back into this match. Quite a misjudgment because he very nearly hit the blue, which meant it'd gone too low. Trying to work out if it's worth having it put back, because in the end he feels that Kyren will eventually negotiate this snooker and that will be the end of it. Won't amount to an awful lot in the way of points. Yeah, well, I can think of a good reason to have that put back, really, but because even then, if Kyren had rolled into the left side of the bunch, he's got the easy safety shot anyway up the table, but he decided to play it. I'm not sure that Judd really gained much there by playing that shot himself. Looking at a plan, and as you can see where the cue ball is, you could probably make that into a very close possible plant to left corner. Cue ball running away to bulk anyway.
Of course, Kyren Wilson knows what it's like to be on the wrong end of a home nation's final drubbing. This is his third final appearance in this series, dating back to 2016. Oh, he's overcut that by quite a margin. That's a surprise, and he's left it for Trump. He was beaten 9-2 by O'Sullivan in the English Open in 2017, and then 9-1 by Shaun Murphy at the Welsh Open in 2020.
Still not getting any kisses, is he? And there, the balls could hardly have finished in worse positions.
就中我。
We have seen some big fight backs in recent years. Mark Allen from 6-1 behind to beat Ding, 10-7 for the UK title. Neil Robertson 5 down with 6 to play against John Higgins in the Tour Championship. But of course, the reason those matches stand out is because of their rarity.
Judd has asked for, I think, the extended rest. He's going to take this red on into the right corner with all the equipment on the cue.
One.
Bottom red in the bunch goes to the left corner. So he doesn't have to do an awful lot with this black.
Eight. Nine.
Now, does he have to go into the bunch? Obviously the red out on the left, but also he's looking at the bottom red again in the pack of reds. If he can pop that from somewhere down the right side. So he's got about 3 different shot choices here.
$60. Judge from 16.
He wasn't right in behind the red as he wanted to be, but I still didn't really see it as a problem. I'm sure he didn't either. That will give Kyren Wilson a little bit of heart because he hadn't really had anything come his way tonight. Judd has missed that one.
Looking for his first pot of the evening. And he's still looking. He looks just a little nervy at the moment, Kyren Wilson.
Yeah, as I say, it's a totally different mindset, I think, coming in with this scoreline than what he started the match. He had to be aggressive in the match, of course, to get the frames won. From starting all square, 0-0. He probably shouldn't change his thought process, but that's very easy to say. It's kind of just the psychology of sport, really, isn't it? Judd is desperately trying to get back into the match. Kyren just wants to get himself over the line.
A view from the gods of this magnificent waterfront hall. Certainly one of the players' favourite places to show their skills. Generates a wonderful atmosphere, and it'll be even greater if Trump can produce something remarkable this evening and make it close.
quite like to get the cue ball across somewhere in behind the yellow if that's possible from here. He's played it pretty well, hasn't he? A quick table, it would probably just go beyond the yellow, but it was still a good way of playing the shot. Well, again, they knew the cue ball was heading into that fairly dangerous corner where he can get a snooker behind the yellow or even the blue, but he and off, as he found out, is also a possibility as well into that area. He's got to stay patient and just hope that things start to just run for him a little bit. I mean, there's no question that he was outplayed completely this afternoon. Meanwhile, Kyren has also located that corner of the table as being the place to send the cue ball. And he's put Judd Trump in trouble now with the red over the pocket, which again he has to protect if he can. Now, can he get through to it, to pot it? Looks to me there's just about enough of the red sticking out from the red by the pink to pot this. And then it's a question of where he can get the cue ball, if so. Couldn't do a lot but pot the ball there, really. It's not going to be a frame with big breaks in it, I don't think. It's going to be one that you've just got to find a way of winning. Where the balls are, it seems to dictate.
Blue ball.
It's a good shot, though, isn't it? He's developed the blue as well as laying a very handy snooker. One that's easy to hit, but of course it's in the lap of the gods if you can keep things safe here, as you can just roll up to a red. Still early in the evening session, but he's not done an awful lot right, has he, when it comes to potting balls. Meanwhile, Judd was up very quickly on that shot of his.
Number of errors early in this frame, which is reflected by the state of the table, which is pretty scruffy now. whatever happens this evening, it has been a remarkable run of consistency from Judd Trump again. This year, all 15 ranking tournaments he's contested in 2024, he's made at least the quarterfinals. He's won 2 big titles already this season, Shanghai and that miraculous final frame break to deny Mark Williams in Saudi Arabia. Runner-up to Kyren Wilson, of course, in the Xi'an Grand Prix as well, and in yet another final here in Belfast.
Kyren Wilson has put him in a bit of trouble. That was a really good safety shot once again. As I say, has been his stronger suit this evening, but not when mistakes have been made, has he been able to take anything from them.
Foul. Miss.
Goodness, you could hardly get any closer. I suspect it's going straight back. Wow, it looked to me like it almost grazed it on the way through. I'm sure Rob Spencer was correct. Judd came very close to hitting anyway.
Yeah. Kyren? Yeah.
Applause, but at least one red for Wilson to go at.
Yes, and can he pop the black to the right corner from it? I think from that angle, I think the black will go.
One.
Well, whether he can open up any balls from this black, I'm not so sure, but if he could, it could completely turn this frame around.
Trump knows that the margin for error this evening for him is wafer thin.
Well, any thoughts of being able to pop that red to left corner
Yeah,
might have been scuppered by the black
I'll do it from this side so you can see.
being respotted, and he's asking Rob Spencer to put it on again in the hope that he's not got it on right first
You can see
time.
the cross on this side. If you come over here, you can see. Yeah, you sure?
Yeah, he was just asking, just in case it was a miracle and he could see the red.
It's the last time I'll buy you a drink, Rob.
Yeah, no, nothing doing there. So
Eight.
he'll be looking to get that cue ball in behind the yellow again. Yellow and blue over that area.
Cheers, Kyren. Thank you. Kyren Wilson out.
It's definitely a side of his game that's improved massively in the last 18 months, Kyren Wilson. Not least when he turned over John Higgins at the Crucible, having lost heavily to him the year before. And his safety in that match on his way to the title was absolutely outstanding. He kept John Higgins in a lot of trouble throughout the 25-frame match that it was scheduled for. Yes, he ended up beating John Higgins 13-8, having been heavily beaten in the previous championship, so you can see the improvement was right in front of him. That's a very good shot from Trump. From where he was, it's an excellent effort.
I'm sure, first and foremost, when Trump walked into the arena tonight, it was, at the very least, I have to make him earn it. Really make him fight for these 2 frames. Don't give him anything. The chances are overturning this deficit isn't going to happen, but at least pose a few questions, which largely this afternoon he was unable to do. Well, that's a tremendous pot from Kyren Wilson.
It really is. That is absolutely superb. I mean, he's leaving a red on as well. Should he miss it?
Eight. Nine.
The table's still a bit awkward, so any sort of lead that Wills can eke out here will be a valuable one.
16. 17.
Smaller scale situation, of course, but he has dealt with players coming back at him already this week. David Grace was 3-0 behind, forced a decider. And even yesterday, things got a bit uneasy against Pang Junju from 5-2 up to 5-4.
25.
Yeah, I mean, he's already sort of taken the sting out of the evening, hasn't he? Judd started well in that opening frame, made a really awkward 64 break, and, you know, got everyone thinking that maybe something was possible, some comeback. But there's been a prolonged safety battle this frame. And now Judd has got himself in.
29.
Sort of slightly slow walk round, as if he's not sure whether he's on one here. Well, the left-hand red, I mean, that's half a pocket. That's half a pocket. It might go in, but it's not into the middle of the pocket. The other red's in the way. So this is a really tight one. He wants to go for it, though. That's the thing. Playing just something of a nothing shot, really.
Kyren Wilson, 29.
Interesting shot selection, because Judd can get him up down in that corner of the table again, quite comfortably. It's a good shot, that, from Judd. I'm not sure about Kyren's shot. It was quite negative, and leave himself open to being put in a little bit of trouble himself. That's brilliant. Just a few little signs here that Kyren is just tightening up a bit, I would say, in this little exchange. I can understand it's such a long lead. The last two shots he's played have been quite negative, and Judd knocking these in That was a terrific
5.
red, though, from Kyren, just trickling up to it.
6.
This would be some break if he wins the frame from here, but if anyone can manufacture something from an unpromising table, it's Trump. But that's not quite the cannon he wanted. Too thin on the red.
Yeah, he wanted that half ball. He did to push the left-hand red close to the left corner. So there's plenty more left in the frame, you'd think. From where the balls are, hard to pick a winner of it.
Ambitious.
Judd Trump 13.
Where's the cue ball going to finish, though? This frame is into its 29th minute by some distance, the longest of the match so far. The all-important second frame, which was snatched from Trump's grasp, was a shade over 25 after Wilson had needed a snooker, won it on the black. And then won the 7th on the black as well, and at that stage the spectre of a whitewash in a final, which would have been unthinkable at the start against the world number 1, that's obviously now been put to bed. The question is, what inroads can Trump make tonight in this final?
It's not really the kind of frame you'd expect these two to play, but sometimes these can be very intriguing to see the way they unfold. Yes, he's got this one red to aim at. He's played the double kiss, which is quite nicely judged. Now maybe the luck has changed a little, because he played that well, Kyren, and he's very unlucky to go in off there.
Very close, which is why it stayed close to the pocket. But it doesn't look as though he can get to the potting angle from there anyway.
Now once again, from that shot, the red didn't have to go right close to that pocket. It's 3 hours so far, and for a lot of that, Kyren Wilson has dominated proceedings. It's not quite like that right now. A lot will hinge on this frame. Clearly, if Kyren gets over the line to lead 8-2, well, it's basically 1-1 on the night. He'd be happy with that. But if he loses his frame, you start to think maybe a little differently. It'd be 3 in a row, should that happen.
One.
Question is, now what do you do? Hard to see where you can gain any real advantage. You looked at a 2-ball plant down the cushion, which you're not likely to be playing anyway.
Judd Trump 1.
Certainly not a frame with fireworks, but seemingly a quite important one in the context of what we're about to see.
It's a bit of a waiting game at the moment with these final two reds left. Just 6 points between them.
Yes, a bit of a stalemate. I mean, neither player can do a great deal about this. With that red by the pink, until that's resolved, then no one can get any major advantage. Well, if had he got right in behind that pink on the left side, it would have been a horrible snooker. I think he's got some way through to the other red. Well, as you can see, this is by some margin the longest frame of the match. Previously we had a 25-minute frame. That was the one in which Kyren got the snooker on the last red and won the frame 2 of the match. It's a brilliant pot. Now, has he got any way of getting from black to red? Might have needed it to be a little straighter. A bit more over to the left with the cue ball. He could have screwed across. I'm not sure how big a target he's got now. Well, that could be a blessing in disguise. He missed the pot. I mean, that's worked out for the best, hasn't it? That's why he's grinning, because he'd have snookered himself. Dangerous this, because of course he could end up in a horrible snooker now next shot. Not sure that he could do a lot there, Kyren, but his next shot is going to be in a pretty vile snooker, I think.
Yes, that faintly sick smile told the story of what he was about to be facing, which is being glued behind the pink.
Could have done with the red coming out into the D, for instance, and just being more difficult to hit and more accessible to all the pockets. So that's the one thing that he could have done better there, Judd. Otherwise, this snooker is a nasty business. mean, you might say, well, look, it's just one cushion up and down, but I mean, that's not a nice shot. You're not even looking at the ball you're trying to hit. You can easily misjudge it and come somewhere towards the brown. Oh, played a good shot. Played a good shot there. That was a better snooker to hit than it looked.
Could have been worse for Trump. Of course, you lose control when you go for a double and miss it, trusting to luck as to where things are going to end up. Not a pretty frame by any stretch, but for Judd Trump, an absolutely vital one.
Yeah, and I would say that in the case of Kyren Wilson, because he hasn't started so well tonight, he doesn't care what sort of frame it is. If he wins it, he really couldn't care less. It would take him to within a frame.
Excellent pot, right in the middle. That was not easy, but Wilson, as we know, so adept with the rest.
Six. Kyren Wilson, 6.
A little look of disappointment on Wilson's face there that he couldn't quite see the cue ball slip past the edge of the blue. So 11 points the deficit, the colours left. Trump's missed it altogether.
Foul.
Oh,
Miss.
goodness me, and it's a free ball, surely.
Kyren Wilson, 5.
Well, that's the worst part of it all. That really is, because even missing that yellow seemed fairly innocuous until the bump of the middle and the nudge. That is a
Blue ball.
very unexpected turn in this frame.
So the blue's an extra yellow. Well, he's put a lot of blood, sweat and tears into this frame, Judd Trump, but as this mistake cost him.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing to miss the yellow, but you couldn't have really foreseen anything else happening.
Four.
And like you say, it's cost him the frame, that shot, which didn't seem that significant for a split second until ended up in behind the blue.
This is frame ball to put him 6 up with 7 to play.
7.
It's been a real marathon, this frame. 43 minutes nearly. But Kyren Wilson
11.
will not care a jot. He's won it. And Judd Trump bemoaning his luck there, having missed the edge of the yellow. He can't believe that he's left a free ball via
60.
the angle of the pocket, and that has made a huge difference.
Kyren Wilson, 16.
Kyren Wilson is on the cusp of becoming Northern Ireland Open champion. He's one away. Judd Trump now, seemingly hopeless task at 8-2 down.
The 11th frame. Judd Trump to break.
Seemingly a terminal blow to Judd Trump's hopes as he breaks off in frame 11. It's got to be perfect snooker from him now, and a few errors along the way from Kyren Wilson to have any hope at all. Of course, Wu Yize faced this deficit in the first Home Nations tournament of this season, the English Open, and got it back to 8-7, so it's not impossible that Trump can still apply the pressure, but what a hammer blow, Neil, to suffer at the end of that lengthy frame.
It was just a frame he had to win, and yeah, Kyren did it without really ever reaching the heights of earlier today, but he got over the line, took advantage of the free ball, and that was that. Yes, I mean, this huge lead, I can only ever think of one best of 17 final where a lead of this kind was turned over, and it was Mike Hallett who led by that scoreline at the Masters. Stephen Hendry won 9-8 in all of the frames. But the fact that we can only ever think of one in all the years suggests it doesn't happen very often. That's a good cue ball right under the cushion. You can see Rob Spencer just taking a look at what is hittable in case there's a replacement. The other thing he might have been looking at is as to whether there is full ball contact with anything available. If Kyren decides to put him in again and he was to miss again, got a feeling that there is something he can hit. But anyway, I'll worry about that if and when the time comes. Kyren is taking this on though, so looks a tough shot, isn't it, from up this end? Didn't have to play it. I understand how attacking he wants to be. Judd stopped in his tracks. He was getting up as if he was on that red to pot it, but it's just trickled onto the cushion. I think you'll find Judd feels he's suffering out there, but that kind of goes with what happens when you don't play well and your opponent does. The run usually goes accordingly. I think he feels a bit hard done by today, but that's just the way snooker is, I'm afraid. The odd little nudge might not have been going for him, but this scoreline is more about how they've both played. There's no fluke in it. It's about right.
"12 months ago, Trump was dishing out similar punishment to Chris Wakelin in the title match, winning 9-3 for his 4th Northern Ireland Open title.
Well, there's a mistake and a half. One to which he would expect to be punished for. Seemingly not in a lot of trouble there. It was something of an unforced error, this, by the standards we see today. Just caught the red much too thick. Cue ball went close to that corner pocket. Certainly a big thing for Kyren Wilson, who has not really played into his best here in Belfast very often. It's not been one of his most successful venues.
Six.
Yes, the semi-final he made was in the inaugural Home Nation season, when, of course, this tournament was played at the Titanic Exhibition Centre. Wilson lost to Mark King, the eventual champion. Trump 6 out of 6 with the rest in this final.
Yes, and for the first time, I would think tonight, this is a clear-cut opportunity with the balls not in unfortunate positions. They're quite open. If he can get the black cleared to both corner pockets, he could be way and gone in the frame here. It's a good chance now.
Forcing. 50. $22. 23. $30.
It was a big safety error from Wilson, catching the red way thicker than intended, that sent the cue ball into the pack and gave Trump this chance to reduce the arrears and do so quickly.
I think that's the point, isn't it, really? Just getting frame for one quickly, not taking a long time. That last frame was a real marathon, 43 minutes. You wouldn't expect these two to be involved in many of those sort of frames. It was that man who got it won somehow. Both of these two have both done particularly well in the Tempodrome in Berlin. And this is, like the venue in Berlin, a very iconic venue in snooker. Neither of them hold a triple crown, but the crowds are absolutely superb. Love their snooker, pulsating atmosphere in them both.
$44. 45. $52. 53. $60. 61.
Even if he does lose this evening, as still seems highly likely, Trump is going to take his season earnings past the 900,000 mark.
68.
Of course, he won $500,000 for winning in Saudi Arabia. And what a win it was. One of the great clearances we've ever seen, actually, particularly when you consider
69.
what was on the line. It was a £300,000 frame.
What's remarkable about that is we haven't even had any of the Triple Crown events for the season yet, where there's big money. So if he continues to be successful, then the sky's the limit. As far as
76.
tonight is concerned, though, he's going to do ever so well to keep this match going a lot longer. But this will make him feel
76.
better. This is the first time he's really got in tonight, and he's taken advantage of that poor mistake from Wilson. Surprising error.
The argument over in this frame, half an hour quicker than the previous one, and
84.
when Trump does get in the groove, particularly in front of a big
85.
and noisy crowd like this one, he can build up a really irresistible head of steam. It's going to take something unprecedented from here in a home
96.
nations event, in a ranking event, to win from 6 down with 7 to
93.
play. But if anyone can do it, I guess it's the man at the table, as Wilson tries to stay in his own little bubble of concentration.
One 101.
Well, he can get to a break of 143, which is
108.
what Mark Williams made a few days ago in this event.
109.
£5,000 bonus on offer for the best break of the tournament, which would be shared assuming Trump were to achieve it and is not bettered.
No, immediately you're thinking that if he's going to pot that pink, the likelihood is he
116.
could double it to the left middle to get on the final black. That's probably going to be the plan,
108.
although he's not hitting that hard enough. So now he's very good at playing all round the angles, but on this occasion he might have to. He might be able to run it in, leave himself further away from the brown.
121.
That was the problem. He couldn't get into it very easily. Now he's playing right-handed.
Yes. 125.
Just things have got a little awkward now in this break. Don't know if he can leave himself the double. Looks like he's going to have to sort of get in close to the pink. He's back on the double. And it is doable. I mean, it's very gettable.
Right in the middle. So the black to tie the highest break of the tournament made by Mark Williams. Well played, Judd Trump. An immaculate break. Kyren Wilson made the safety error. Trump steps in with a 1-4-3. The equal highest of 1-4-3 with Mark Williams. But Kyren Wilson is still just one frame away from that Alex Higgins trophy. This is the final frame before the final interval. Will we need it?
Yes, I was just thinking that Mark Williams probably saw the scoreline 8-2. I think he's off in Portugal, according to his social media. But whatever it is, he's probably thinking at 8-2 up, my break's going to be safe. There's not much more snooker left in this year's Northern Ireland Open, and then if he's not watching it, which he may not be, he would like to know that the break's been equalled. This time he didn't get a bad kiss. Having missed it, he could have got a double kiss and left it on. That's a terrific shot. Well, there's somebody who is such a great cueist. Cue goes through dead straight. These are really tough shots to push through in the way that he did.
Six. Seven.
I mean, for all Judd Trump's success, and there's been an awful lot of it, you know, he's been an outstanding winner over such a long period. Occasionally in finals, he throws in one that's not great. He was beaten 10-3 in the Champion of Champions final by Mark Allen, who was the best player. I mean, he deserved the win. Nothing to say about that, because that was coming up to a month ago. That is coming next month, that event. But he was heavily beaten in the final, and it could be the same here. Of course, that's interspersed with a number that he hasn't been beaten in, and he hasn't done anything but win, and not least that, as Philip said, that wonderful clearance in Saudi to pick up the $500,000. In the meantime, Rob Spencer's got problems of his own here, hasn't he? I mean, he's got the marker out.
It's got to be in a direct line, of course. Not touching anything else.
Now he's got to replace the red. Oh.
Thank you. 13.
Quite a surgical procedure there, but Rob Spencer, of course, was equal to it. Gets a warm hand. And Wilson continues with the break he hopes
14.
will carry him to the title.
Yes, I'm sure that the winning line is now in view for him. As you can just see with this visit to the table, Judd knows that it's out of his hands. It was a terrific opening red up into the green pocket.
20.
Well, here it is. I mean, the speed he's played it at, he didn't just roll it in. There's such difficult shots to play.
$27. 28.
Now, what does he have? Any kind of a slightly off straight angle to screw into the bunch directly? Maybe. Not sure if anything else goes. He's trying to dig out that end red. Well, that will go, as we've just seen the angle, the giveaway angle that tells us that bottom one will definitely pot. Yeah, it definitely goes, and also he's definitely going to be moving other balls here in the process of trying to pot
35.
it. This could be the shot that almost wins him it. Top spin through the bunch at pace.
36.
Very good. Slightly lost the cue ball, but it's certainly retrievable.
This next shot could be the key one. Not easy.
Yes, I mean, there's two ways you could. I mean, you could screw it in and try and get a cannon on the reds, but it makes the pot more difficult, more missable that way. He's played the shot though. And that was a brave way to play it, I think.
43.
Instead of dropping it in and playing something at middle range.
Not entirely clean, but he bullied it into the pocket.
It's true, but I do think that anything that does go in on these tables has been earned, because I'm not seeing them being very generous. They're standard pockets on this table here in Belfast. So if they do go in off the jaw, then they were in the first place. This has gone wrong.
47.
Cue ball should not have finished there. Just occasionally with Kyren, he will drift out of position. It gives Judd a little bit of a glimmer of hope. This is not a simple shot. Very nicely played though with the brown there.
He's taken these very well. One or two moments where things could have gone wrong. The black was missable. He potted it very confidently. And he's back in good-looking position with a view to finishing the job.
53.
Yeah, just dropping in now to the left side of the table with, as you can see, the reds lined up perfectly. Any one of three, a huge area to land in. So he's almost there.
58.
Alex Higgins trophy beckons.
now.
Judd Trump has dominated this tournament down the years, winning it 3 times in a row at the expense of Ronnie O'Sullivan, and then a 4th last year. And started the day with high hopes of a famous 5, but it's surely not to be. This red,
66.
and Kyren Wilson will be the champion.
67.
There's the little clench of the fist, an understated celebration. What a day he's had. Who could have believed that he would blitz his opponent 7-1 in the first session?
Yes, and you've got to enjoy the wins, haven't you? There is a mutual respect
74.
between these two now. Maybe once upon a time they weren't particularly close, but they're contemporaries,
75.
both great players. I think Judd will be warm in defeat. And congratulations to Kyren Wilson. But he has been soundly beaten today. There's no two ways about it.
It's already a great rivalry, and it's going to become stronger and stronger. Kyren Wilson is still only 32, Trump only 35. Their best snooker days might well still be ahead of them. It's an exciting prospect.
90.
It's disappointment for Judd Trump, and it's elation for Kyren Wilson.
91.
And now looking to put the icing on the cake with a 3rd century of the week.
94. 95.
It's almost like Judd's break of 143 in the previous frame has sprung Kyren Wilson back into life because he played so well earlier.
It was a brilliant red to get in. And there's the century.
101.
The crowd raised the roof. They have contributed greatly to another wonderful week here at the Waterfront Hall.
104.
Well, this is the victory lap now, isn't it, for Kyren? Must be feeling very disappointed, Judd, but the other man, Kyren Wilson, must feel absolutely on top of the world. It's been a great display. He needed to play well to win, and he has. There's no doubt how much his game has gone up in the last 12 months or so from the world title. 2 more ranking titles since.
Dominating the centre. The world champion reigns supreme in Belfast. Kyren Wilson has taken down the world #1 Judd Trump to land the Northern Ireland Open and the Alex Higgins Trophy. An 8th ranking title, his 2nd of the season.
Kyren Wilson!